to Deborah for bringing you to us. Thank you. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And here to Center for Spiritual Living, East Hawaii. Let me see if there's any new faces besides Michael. Yes, there's one right over there. Welcome. Out there on video, thank you so much. If it's your first time, and like Dennis said, we want to say welcome home. So right here, right now, I'm not sure if this is working. Joe will tell me if it is. It does. Have any of you seen The Cable Girls on Netflix? Yeah. Do I look like one of them right now with this piece in front of my face? They were switchboard operators back in the 1920s when they first started, and they had this whole contraption. And as I went to get ready for today, I was like, wow, all I need to do is change the outfit just a little, and I'd be right in with them with my whole piece in front of me. But you know what? We're good to go. We've got some new microphones today, and we're working that all in. We've got a new piece here. This is going to be working its way out, but it's all good, right? It's all good. So in case you didn't know, I'm Reverend Beverley Strutt, and I get to be the spiritual director here, and I get to give stuff to Dennis and all the presiders to do up here. They look at me and they go, really? I'm like, just do it. Make it easy on yourself.
We say thank you.
Yeah, you know, when you come and you start in a new community and you have new ideas and new visions, sometimes that transition takes a little bit of time. And it sometimes doesn't always feel so good. It can feel a little itchy. It can be like, really? We were doing this for 30 years before you came. Why do you have to have some? Well, it's not about control. It is about vision. It's about vision for how we can be as a community and how everything has changed over the last couple of years, how we have all changed over the last years, and how the world has changed around us. So with some of these little things that feel itchy right now, in a couple of years are going to be like, whew, that feels like a big old comfortable chair. But we got to work there and get there. And it takes all of us to do that. It takes every part of a community, because it's all about us. And it's all about creating a safe space for everybody. And it's all about creating a vessel that is filled up and overflowing with love. I'm going to get back to that in a little bit. But for starters, I want to just speak about this idea, like Susan mentioned, of living everyday wonder. You know, we've been doing this all year. Every month there's been a new theme, and last month was home. We spoke a lot about home. What does that mean? What is that sense of being at home? That feeling of love. We spoke about that unconditional love. We spoke about being safe, about returning to familiarity. We spoke about these things that make us feel like we are where we're supposed to be in space and time. And when we're not there, we try and go a place to go somewhere to it. But in actuality, it's in God that we go. Because God is everywhere all the time, all present. So it's easy. We can just go, boop, and we're in it. Right? So this month, we're going from home last month to community this month. It's not a big jump, I can tell you. So I looked at all of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. I'm like, I think I did this already. I think I didn't read ahead far enough. So I addressed a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about this month. But it relates way more to community than it does to our family heritage and home. And one of the things that we're going to do today, it's called longing to belonging. This word belonging is a very, very interesting word. And if anybody has never felt this feeling of not belonging, has anybody not felt that? You've always belonged. Okay, so you have felt that feeling of not belonging. I think we all have at some point in time. And as I was preparing for this talk, I kind of got into this thing, what is it? Why do we not feel like we belong? What is about that? So I had this idea. I'm going off. Just so that you know, you want to jump on the ride right now, because I'm going off into a potential, and I don't even know if this is the truth. But here it is. So we all are part of this big wholeness that is God, that is this amazing intelligence, that is this energy. We're all part of it, right? Every soul is a part of it. Where do we come from? We come from it. Where do we go to? We go back to it. So when the soul jumps ship from there and decides to dive into a body, it suddenly finds itself in a place where it can't connect properly with all the other souls. Because there, I mean, come on, the connection, there was nothing between any of the souls and the energy. It's all one. Suddenly we're in this body, and the soul is trying to navigate a way to connect with each other. But it has this thing in between it. It has all this stuff that this thing needs or wants or desires that gets in the way of it. So it's about connection. Dennis brought up connection today. It's about connection. How does the soul manage to connect when this body is in the way? Any ideas? I don't know. But I do think that this is part of the sense of us not necessarily belonging, because we're missing an automatic connection that we have to get through all of this other stuff. The ego, the color, the diet, the tradition, the religion, the sexual orientation, whatever it is, we've got to try and navigate all this stuff just so our beautiful soul can go, I belong with you. Isn't that fun? All right, I'm going to let that percolate. We'll see how that goes. Anybody comes up with ideas, come with me later. But I do think that that is a source of why, even when we were home with our parents that loved us and we loved them and we were doing all these magical, wonderful things together, we were still, from time to time, feeling like we didn't belong there. Anybody with me on this? Anybody felt in their home of homes that they still didn't quite belong? This might be one of the reasons. But so what is it that we do now? We come together in groups, we come together in community, we come together in spiritual centers to find a place where maybe we can belong, where we can get that sense of connection with each other. But then again, you get Groucho Marx, who said, any club that would have me as a member, I don't want to be a part of. Well, actually, it's the other one. I don't want to be a part of any club that wants to have me as a member. What is that about? Is that the push and the pull? The push and the pull of being in community. We want to be and have this feeling, and yet we have resistance against it. We do. I remember when I first came into a Science of Mind community. And I'm sure that my story is much like most of yours. I sat in the back. I sat there, I skirted the edges, I came late, I left early. I saw everybody, I got the message, I put my money in the tithe, and I left. In fact, sometimes I would just throw it in on my way out the door. What was it that I was seeking? I was seeking to be part of this community, and what was I doing? Everything unlike what it would take to be a part of this community. Doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure that I'm not the only one that has experienced that. So we come in, we're looking for this connection. We're looking to find a place to belong. We're looking for friends. We're looking for ways to deepen into a whole. But no, not today. Not today. Why not today? I'm unsure. I'm not quite sure if they'll accept me the way I am. Really? Do you think that your soul ever thought about that? No. Your soul is whole, complete in every way, and ready to move into a union with all the other souls. But the body and the mind here is going, not so sure. The things that come up are all things of lack. I am not enough. There is not enough to go around. The world's a scary place. These are the things that we are navigating when we are trying to come into community, to connect with other people. Guess what? They're all thinking the same thing. They're all on that same level. If they aren't there now, they've been there before. So we get into this push-pull relationship. I'm going to come in, yay! Oh, no, maybe not today. I'm going to try this. No, maybe not today. So there's a point in time where we have to try and let go. And you know, one of the most amazing things in all of this is we get to choose. Yeah, doesn't that suck? We get to choose when we are willing to take a step forward and go, all right, I'm going to try this today. I'm not going to judge myself, first and foremost, that I am not enough for this community. I'm not going to judge anybody else by, oh my goodness, they didn't respond to me the right way. I got to get out of here. No. I'm going to come in and I am going to be. Just be. Now, if you notice in the word longing to belong in, what is the difference? Be. Just be. Isn't that an amazing concept? If we could just come in and be. Be vulnerable. Be kind. Be generous. Be open. Be willing. Just be. Because you know what? We're absolutely perfect. Every single one of us, exactly as we are and exactly as we're not, are just absolutely perfect right here, right now. We don't have to put on a show. We don't have to come in with feeling all joyous and fantastic and wonderful. In fact, we don't have to at all. We can show up how we feel today. I was feeling like I'm riding this energy on a surfboard. I'm trying to look for a tether. What am I going to run? Stay in the corner? No. I'm going to step in fully, say hi to the folks I know. When they say, how you doing? Go, actually, no, I'm really good. But there's something weird going on here. And guess what? They're not going to look at you strange because they're probably going through the same stuff. So this is one of the things that Brene Brown says about coming into community. Let me get the glasses on. She says, true belonging is not passive. It's not the belonging that comes with just joining a group. It's not fitting in or pretending or selling out because it's safer. Whoa. It's a practice that requires us to be vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and learn how to be present with people without sacrificing who we are. We want true belonging, but it takes tremendous courage to knowingly walk into hard moments. It takes tremendous courage. It's much easier to run away. And yet the one thing that we're seeking is the support and the love of the people around us. And yet the minute something gets itchy, we hijack it out of here. Belonging takes courage. Remember when we spoke about unconditional love? Unconditional love wasn't putting up with anything that happens and comes your way and loving the person no matter. Unconditional love comes with being authentic, being able to stand with each other in the hard times, Being able to stand with somebody who really is really peeing you off today. But you still love them authentically for who they are. It's the same thing with belonging, is opening your heart up to be able to be there with people even when it feels itchy, because you know inside that there is a perfection of the divine in them, unlike anything else you've ever seen, because of their unique, their wonderments, and their joy that they bring. So it takes courage. It takes courage to come back to the fire. Remember we spoke about that? How we've distanced ourselves from the fire. We're self-sufficient. We don't need anybody. That is a crock. We totally need each other. We're just like monkeys. If we don't have each other to work with and nettoyage our back and to clean us up, we die. I love it, Sherry's laughing at us. We totally are in that place. This is what we crave. We crave belonging. We crave being together with each other. And how do we do that? How can we maybe come in away from the outskirts and come in a little deeper? And one of the ways I realized when I was at New Vision Center, I was like, what is it that will make me feel really part of this? Well, I started working in the office. Actually, I did it because I thought I'd meet people because I was in town, I was new. Yeah, I didn't meet a soul. You know, nobody came into the office during the week. I was like, this is going to be a hubbub, and it's going to be great. No. But what I was doing is I went into service. I started giving of myself to the community. And in doing so, I started to feel a sense of, I'm part of this. I am making a difference in the world around me, because we all want a purpose. I was finding a purpose in my day and the office. But the day that it truly changed for me was the day I stepped in to cater the installation of our new minister. They were like, well, what should we do? Should we do a potluck? Should we do? No. We're going to level this up. I said, we're going to do tray pass appetizers. We're going to have champagne. And we're not going to use any utensils at all. We'll have people serving. And they looked at me like I was crazy. But you know what that moment was? It wasn't about the fact that I catered to 120 people at 20 pieces per each individual person that I made myself. That was not it. Although that was great. It did feel really good to accomplish that. I'm not going to say it didn't. What it came down to is that was a gift that I had to be able to do that. It's a gift, a God-given gift in my body, my ability to be able to see it, organize it, vision it, and bring it into fruition. I was able to give my gift. And everything changed from that day. I had been taking classes. I had been studying. I was already a practitioner. But the day I stepped in and gave one of the most wonderful gifts I believe I have to the community was the day I felt that sense of belonging. I really felt it. It was like I had given of myself one of the greatest gifts. How many of us haven't even shared with somebody here what their great gift is? How many of us has kept that to ourselves? Haven't shared it at all? It's not because we're afraid of what somebody's going to say. It's just like we're not quite sure if we're enough. But you know what? When people feel embedded in a community, they feel protected, they feel respected, and they feel connected. The day that I gave that gift, that I was willing to step in all the way and share, you know, it could have blown up in my face completely. Could completely have blown up in my face. But there was a trust involved in that. But I felt a connection with each and every person there and the greater community, because I had simply stepped away from my resistance, stepped away from my fear, and jumped in with my gift. I became part of the community fully. And you know what? To this day, I went back for 2 weeks to Arizona. When this day, the first day I walked in there, they actually invited me up to pray them in. That's a community that doesn't let go. And we don't let go here either. So just so that you know, there's nothing that can be done that we're going to let go of you. You are a part of this community. But there's a part of us that needs to move from the fear into the faith. We need to let go of the fear around, are we going to be judged? Are we enough? Are we not enough? And Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says this: what would happen if we could convert the energy of fear to faith, the energy of doubt and uncertainty into a feeling of belonging to the universe and being safe in it? Would not the original artist itself go forth into a new creation through us? I'm telling you something. Yeah, you know, this stuff really does work, right? Oh, goodness. All right, coming back to it. So what we see is as we step into community in these bodies, as we step out of our fear of ourselves and, you know, this n'importe quoi about, oh, you know, they don't like me, or it's not my group, or this person is like this. We just let that stuff go. Let's just come in and see the best and the greatest in each person, and we come together. We give our gifts. Because you know why? Because we ultimately do this in spirit. You know I'm always going to bring it back to God, right? Everybody knows that. Back to that. How can the divine have its way through you when you feel safe, when you feel like you belong, when you're not worried, when you can relax and enjoy what is the life around you? Wow, what kind of a gift would that be to the divine? Now, what about that connection of belonging? When we open ourselves up to being a true vehicle for the divine to work through us, now the bodies fall away. They just melt away. And the spirit and the soul get to reconnect fully and easily. So yeah, let's take this all back. So we left spirit, God, the energy. We dove into these bodies, and we want to reconnect with that soul spirit again. But we can do it here. We can absolutely do it here by being willing to see the light in everybody around you. Be willing to step forward. Be vulnerable. Be in community. Come together to create something wonderful as a group. And the greatest gift we get from that is peace, and peace of mind. Anybody want some of that? Peace of mind comes forward when we allow ourselves to come into community, to feel safe, to be protected, to know we're always welcome, to know we're always home. If there is anything we need, it is peace of mind. Without it, life is not worthwhile. Peace of mind comes only when there is a personal and collective sense of security. The sense of security comes when there is a sense of belonging to the universe. Jesus knew that no one is or ever can be sufficient unto themselves. It is when the soul returns to its source and finds its true center in pure spirit that it enters into that peace which the wise one said, the world cannot give. The world cannot give it, but we can have it. There comes to us a great peace of mind, a deep sense of belonging, a complete realization that God is right where we are today and every day. We are here, present in the divine. Here is the peace of mind. And allow yourselves to step into it. Allow yourselves to surrender and lay down all of this resistance, this push-pull. I'm going to step in, I'm going to pull out, I'm worried about this. We don't need it. We can have that peace of mind, and in there, that belonging, that safety, that security, that knowing that we are loved, even with our rough edges. So I have an invitation for you today. Develop your practice in community where Spirit resides in each of us. Go in, go deep, and feel that sense of belonging with you and the divine. Know that you don't have to worry about the body. Because when we get together within the divine, everything else falls away and creates this beauty in us. So the invitation this week is to actually just do that. Take a little extra time. Look around the people around you and go, I think I'm just going to take a chance on them. Because we can all take a chance on everybody. We're all in God, we're all with God, we're all part of God. The bodies are just a little aberration along the way. They're pretty cool though. I mean, really, just think about it. We all have such unique, wonderful bodies. But it's just part that we have to navigate to be close and in contact with each other. So in closing, I'm going to offer this to you. It's from David Brooks, who wrote The Second Mountain. He wrote, "Joy is not just a feeling. It is a moral outlook. It is a permanent state of thanksgiving and friendship, communion and solidarity. It is not an end to troubles and cares. Life doesn't offer us utopia. But the self has shrunk back to its proper size. When relationships are tender, when commitments are strong, when communication is pure, when the wounds of life have been absorbed and the wrongs forgiven, people bend towards each other, intertwine with one another, and some mystical combustion happens. Love emerges between people as a pure flame." That's what's community. That's what's belonging. And guess what? We get to choose it. Thank you, and so it is. Let's take this to prayer. So as we breathe into this moment right here, right now, we recognize the power and the presence of the divine. It is omnipotent, omnipresent, ever creating, supplying, supporting, sustaining, and maintaining every single expression. Every single expression. I know I'm one with it. I know that each and every one of us here is one with it. And I know for us that as we come together in community, that we create this vessel that is filled up and overflowing with love, where we are safe, where we are protected, where we can thrive, where we belong. And it is in this place that we can be vulnerable and allow ourselves truly just to be, to understand that feeling of peace, of relaxation, of confidence. So I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week that we allow this feeling to come forward. that when we see people around us within our community, that we open our hearts and our minds and we take a step forward in confidence, because we are truly all one in the one that is God. And I know that this is the truth. And I know that our desires and intentions are expressing right here, right now, for Spirit has already said yes. Yes, my beloveds, yes. So I call this good. I call it grand. I call it magnificent. For I know that as we step in further, we feel a greater depth and a greater connection with each person here, with the community, and ultimately that magnificent connection with the divine. So let's celebrate this together as we claim it by saying, and so it is.